Hey everyone, welcome to another edition of PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. In today's video, we are going to be continuing and concluding the original arc for Naruto, King of the Clouds, What If Naruto Was a Cloud Ninja, Part 6. Now, I don't know if you can tell or not, but I'm not feeling too well today, so for this video, a lot of the heavy dialogue that I had intended for this part has been cut for a much more slimmer, summarized version that will be done in a much more concise way. I've tried to keep as much detail as I can, but I don't want to try to stress my voice out any more than I need to, and I know I could have just rested and maybe done this video another day, but I didn't want to leave you guys without something, so I'm going to try to get this video out to you guys now. It's not going to be as long, going to try to keep it short, to the point, but give it a satisfying conclusion. And I want you guys to let me know if you want me to continue this series or if you'd like to see something new. Stay tuned later on today. I have a video coming out for what's to come for the rest of 2023 officially for Phase 2 and Chapter 2 of Anime X Marvel and DC X Anime as well. So you'll see what's to come in Phase 2 and in Chapter 2. So stay tuned for that also. But anyway, without further ado, let's get into today's video. So as always, sit back, relax, and enjoy the show. Naruto would be kidnapped and held hostage by the 4 stone shinobi, who would be looking to move into the new territory in hopes of gaining a strategic advantage against the Cloud Village. Team Darui was now left with 2 choices, either to surrender and return back to the Cloud in hopes of saving Naruto's life, or to attempt a daring rescue. Kaori and Omui would already be feeling dejected, feeling as though they had lost not only their sensei but also their teammate. However, much to their surprise, Darui would still make a return. Darui would reveal that even though he was caught off guard and presumed dead in a landslide attack, he had actually managed to survive by burrowing himself underground and attempting to dig and get himself free, using his lightning release along with his sword to make his escape, biding his time. When he learns what happens to his team, Darui would be left in a tough situation. Currently, the Tsuchikage, Onoki, would be in the Hidden Cloud Village with the Raikage Minato. In all likelihood, it would be revealed that this whole meeting was nothing more but a ploy, in an attempt for the Hidden Cloud to strike and gain more territory, while the Hidden Cloud would have their defenses focused on keeping the village secure instead of going outward. Of course, the smart thing to do would be to return back to the Cloud and get help immediately. However, worrying for the safety of Naruto, Darui would have to weigh the options of attempting a rescue or of attempting a retreat. Both Kaori and Omui wouldn't want to leave Naruto behind, and would want to assist in saving their friend in any way that they could, along with the older village leader, who, even though he was retired, was still a former shinobi, and viewing Naruto kind of like the grandson that he had lost in the Third Great Ninja War, would want to assist as well. Darui would weigh all of his options before finally coming to the conclusion that if they were going to make a rescue, then they were going to have to do it with the element of surprise. In the meantime, Naruto would be kept captive inside the cave, while Ko, the grandson of Onoki, would be keeping watch over him, along with Kurasuchi, Giro, and their Jonin leader. Naruto would attempt to break free, but he would find himself restrained in an Earth-style prison. While Naruto wouldn't have any use of his hands or of his sword, he would still be biding his time trying to find a way out. It's here that we would get an exchange of dialogue between Ko and between Naruto. Naruto trying to understand why the Stone Village would look to force themselves upon a village that was no longer practicing the shinobi way, and in fact were trying to seek peace. However, Ko would just look back at Naruto with disgust. The main reason being is that he would have a disdain towards the Hidden Cloud Village. You see, both Kurasuchi and Ko are the grandchildren of Inoki, the third Tsuchikage. And that reason being is because their parents died in the Third Great Ninja War at the hands of the Yellow Flash of the Hidden Cloud, that being Minato Namikaze. It was because of this death that a hatred within the two of them had been stirring for a long time. Of course, they both chose to express their feelings in different ways. While Kurasuchi was hurt by the loss of her parents, she had tried to find the best in the new life she lived, and the last thing she wanted was to cause any more unnecessary trauma or pain. However, Ko, on the other hand, would only have the focus of getting revenge and getting even, and being confronted with the son of the man that took away his parents would fill him with an immense amount of rage. If it wasn't for the sake of their mission, he would have killed Naruto on the spot. Ko would also mention that it was only because of the Hidden Cloud and the Hidden Leaf that other villages were forced to move to drastic measures to do what they needed to do to survive, mentioning that there were villages like the Hidden Sand and the Hidden Mist who had been struggling to make ends meet in terms of gaining missions and in terms of gaining more business due to the growing power of both the Cloud and the Leaf Village, and if left unchecked, could move them to ruin financially and economically for the future. Of course, Naruto would try to argue that there would have to be better options, that trying to force their ideals, to force their way onto other innocent villages and nations wasn't going to pan out well for anyone. However, Ko would not be swayed by Naruto's words, and in fact would only be angered more by hearing him speak. In the meantime, the group would be waiting for an answer, waiting for confirmation that the Cloud Ninja had left from the village. However, they would be in for a surprise when the opposite would occur. The elderly man would enter to the rendezvous location, with the stone Jonin asking if he had done as told, to which he would comply, stating that the two remaining Cloud Ninja had left, seeing as how their master was dead and their friend was kidnapped, knowing that they wouldn't have the power to save him. Being satisfied with the answer, they would still hold Naruto hostage, but tell the old man to return back to his home. The old man would pretend to do so before casting an earth jutsu, shaking the very foundation of the cave that they were hidden in and causing everyone to move in different directions. Naruto, seeing his opportunity, would break free from his restraints and would attempt to make his escape along with the old man, only for the fourth stone ninja to cut them off. However, they would be in for a surprise as the other members of Team Darui, along with Darui himself, would also show up. This would lead to what the stone would consider a worst case scenario, as now the two sides would have to engage with one another. Seeing as how they felt that the mission had been entirely compromised, they would have to move with the next phase of their plan, that being to annihilate all four of the Cloud Ninja along with the village leader here and simply take the land by force. Darui would engage with the Jonin leader, while Karui would engage in her round 2 against Kurasuchi and Omui in his round 2 against Jiro. While the older man would assist Darui, Naruto would face off against Ko once more. The battles would be intense as they would stretch out to different parts of the mountainous range. Naruto using his lightning style to gain the speed advantage to keep up with Ko, who would be using his light as a boulder jutsu, along with his particle style. A battle of genjutsu would ensue between Kurasuchi and Karui, while Jiro, and Omoi would engage in a flurry of taijutsu offense with the sword versus the fist. The battles would be drawn out in various locations, with each group trying to gain the upper hand over the other. Karui would engage with her genjutsu prowess, managing to outlast Kurotsuchi just long enough to gain the advantage to subdue and take her down, while Omoi would use his version of lightning release to strike away at the stone skin of Jiro. While Jiro's obsidian skin was a powerful technique, the only problem was that it could only act as a defense or as a regeneration ability, but it could not do both at the same time. Essentially, think of how Greed's power of armored skin works in Full Metal Alchemist, and this would be the similar outcome here. Omoi would create an opening at the abdomen before stabbing him there in the gut, forcing him to the ground and forcing him to retreat as well. Naruto and Ko would collide in their striking attack as well. While Naruto would attempt to hold him off, Ko's particle style would prove to be a very dangerous element for Naruto to overcome. This version of Naruto would be more skilled in Kinjutsu and in lightning release jutsu, along with a few wind techniques, although he hadn't gotten that far in perfecting that skill set. All the same, Naruto and Ko would collide in an epic clash of ninjutsu, as Ko would find himself on the receiving end of Naruto's blade. However, instead of being embraced by death, Naruto would instead give him a chance to escape, explaining that he didn't want to follow down the same path that his father had done or that their villages had done. While Naruto understood why his father may have had to kill the way that he did, seeing as how he was fighting in a war, Naruto would not want to go down that road. He didn't want to kill anyone if he didn't have to, which was a rule that even his father lived by. War was war and casualties came from war. But even still, they didn't have to become the same casualties. Ko would be left in shock, seeing as how the son of the man that had killed his parents was still willing to offer him his life. Ko wouldn't be sure of what to say by this, and in the meantime, Darui would easily overcome the stone Jonin that he had to face, winning his fight and forcing the stone to retreat. Of course, for the stone ninja, many would consider death to be a better outcome than to simply be let go. However, Kurotsuchi would take them up on that offer. Unlike most stone shinobi, not everyone agreed with the dogmatic views of the Tsuchikage. She didn't care what her grandfather would think of them. In the end, they had their lives, and that was the most important thing. With that, the stone would retreat and would not cause any more trouble to the land. Naruto and his team would be happy that they had gotten the victory, and that things had turned out alright for the most part. The older man would thank Naruto and his team for their help, and while they still had no intentions in joining in either side of the conflict, at the very least, the Cloud could consider themselves welcome in this territory, as the older man would thank them and Naruto for all that they had done. Not too long after, word would be sent back to the Hidden Cloud village of everything that happened on the mission, and Minato would be pleased with the report, although at the same time, he would still be angered towards the Tsuchikage for his actions. Similarly, the Tsuchikage would be briefed on the situation as well. He had the right mind to attempt to send an all-out assault on the would-be nation to gain the territory for himself. However, in all likelihood, he would know that Minato would be aware of his trickery, and knowing that the Yellow Flash could potentially interfere would only cause more of a stir. As the meeting between the two Kages would come to an end, the Tsuchikage would take his leave and head back home. Minato wishing him a safe journey and to spend more time with his family, to which the Tsuchikage would advise the same, speaking bitterly under his breath, as the Stone Village's attempt to expand their territory had been foiled. Meanwhile, in the Land of Waves, another battle was reaching its climactic end. However, it would not be one that you would necessarily be familiar with. Sakura, seeing her potential comrade in Sasuke fall to the ground, would feel her emotions stir, as a swelling of sadness, regret, anger, and rage would all take over her at once, the power of the Nine Tails leaking forth and forcing her to confront the masked ninja, that being Haku. Sakura would beat the masked ninja to the ground effortlessly. However, before she could deal the killing blow, Haku would give his life to save Zabuza from the stinging death of Kakashi's lightning blade. At that moment, all of the conflict between the two sides would come to an end, as Gato and his thugs would arrive, attempting to take the Land of Waves for themselves. Sakura, in a fit of rage, would call out Zabuza for using Haku and treating him as nothing more but a tool. As this version of Sakura had grown up without having anyone to love, without having any family, the few bonds that she could get or could muster, they were precious to her. And to see someone treat those bonds like they were nothing, to merely be used as tools, was the one thing that she couldn't forgive. Her words would be much more sharper and vicious than Naruto's would have been. However, the points would have still hit all the same. With that, Zabuza, in his final act, would kill Gato and many of his men, while Sakura, along with her team, would stand firm on the bridge, facing off against the would-be thugs and sending them back. Sasuke would manage to recover, as Haku had not gone for the killing blow, and Neji would be grateful to see that his rival was still alive. And Sakura would be grateful as well, although she wouldn't initially show it, since she wasn't the type to be all emotional, especially when it came to the Uchiha. With Team 7 having survived their mission, they would leave the Land of Waves in a good and stable future, as they crossed over the newly formed bridge that would be named the Great Sakura Bridge. With that, Team 7 would return home to the Hidden Leaf, and in a similar fashion, Team Darui would return home to the Hidden Cloud, both of their missions being a lot more exciting than they would have expected, as the two young group of Guineans would learn that there was more to this shinobi world than met the eye. Everything was not black and white, but rather there were multiple forms of gray. Some gray in the light and some gray in the dark. However, these missions left them wondering, just what kind of shinobi did they want to be in this new world? What was going to be their ninja way? Would they follow in the path that their ancestors had left before them? Or would they carve a new one for themselves? As they moved into the future, wondering what was to meet them on the horizon, they would leave with a strong sense of conviction and determination. Whatever path they walked down, whatever road they would pave, it would be the one that they could look forward to, a path that they could be proud of, as they staked their own claim as the shinobi of the next generation. This concludes Naruto, King of the Clouds. What if Naruto was a Cloud Ninja, Part 6. As always, if you enjoyed today's video and everything else that we have to offer, then please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and hit that bell for post notifications so you can stay up to date on everything that is PowerCore Productions and Podcastings that has to come out now and in the future. Stay tuned for tomorrow's video as we continue One Piece Omniverse. What if Luffy had the Omnitrix East Blue Saga Part 6? But anyway, that's going to do it for the end of today's video. I'm Javon Harrington with PowerCore Productions and Podcastings. Signing off, and I'll see you next time.